Okay. Take number 12.
We're trying to fix the lighting since this is going to be
look
an uncut, unfiltered, raw, real.
Hey, you guys want to see something that Tori and I do whenever we're emotionally exhausted or just mentally drained or frustrated? This is from your mom, right?
Yeah.
It's not the head on the shoulder thing.
This is what I do.
So if Tori's really frustrated, this is for real, by the way. This is like, it's almost a little quirky, nerdy, but deal with it.
When my mom first started doing it, I thought she had lost her mind, but then it's really funny how well it works.
Well, we've also gotten arguments about it too, because it's like the last thing you want to do.
It's 100% the last thing you want to do, but at the same time, once you do it, it like makes you laugh.
It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to be there. But then if you go, you're like, oh, I'm glad I went. You know what I mean? So if Tori's frustrated, you basically take your hand and you take out the stress, you make her blow it away. And sometimes we try to cheat the system and we do little small ones like and it's not enough. We're really frustrated
and then I'm like, Bibbies, blow it out. Blow out the frustration.
So anyways.
What a way to start the video.
You guys, well, let's welcome back, then I'll jump in.
Okay. Well, hello you guys. Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's good to see you. Should we do a quick subscriber of the week?
We should.
Sorry we weren't here Tuesday, but we are here today. And our subscriber of the week is Jess. Go figure, Jess. We just had an amazing FaceTime with you.
We did.
So good to get to know
sweet.
you. If anyone's in Pittsburgh, or is that in Pennsylvania?
Pittsburgh.
If anyone's there, feel free to comment below, because Jess is just an amazing girl, and we want to continue to keep her connected in that area.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being a part of our community and encouraging vulnerability.
Yes.
That's a huge part of our channel, is being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I have to cough. That's a huge part of our channel, is being vulnerable, and Jess definitely opens up the floor for conversations, and so we really appreciate it.
So if you don't know, over on our Patreon, unedited, there's like a Discord chat room, and I feel like she does such an amazing job of like you said, being vulnerable, which allows other people to be vulnerable and just open up the floor for prayer. So we love her.
Absolutely. And what was I going to say? I was going to talk about why we're filming this video.
Anyways, y'all, we're filming this video, number one, because last time we did like an unfiltered, raw conversation, you guys said you wanted more of it. And we really wanted to continue like the mental health series because we only did one of those videos. And to be honest, today, both of us were just feeling very emotionally exhausted. And so Chad was like, what are we gonna film? And I was like, well, maybe we should just talk about being emotionally exhausted. And open up the floor for vulnerability.
Is anyone else exhausted? Are we the only ones? Like, whether it's just physically from work or emotionally with relationships or just your own, or mentally with your mental health? Because I feel like in a lot of ways we're tired from all three. You know? And I think the important thing to grasp here is that for you to experience exhaustion, it doesn't always have to be from bad stuff. It can even be from good things. It can be from enjoying your job too much, or working out too hard, or spending too much time with family and friends where you don't have enough time to recharge. And I think for us, we're starting to experience our boundaries and our limits, and which will probably start a whole new boundary series. Because I feel like the more you learn, the more you want to share with people, and I feel like we are hitting those points where we're like, oh, okay, wow, like that's the ceiling. Like I can't do more than that.
Capacity.
Yeah, we're definitely at capacity, and we think it would be really good for all of you all to do an inventory. Oh, there's no editing in this video.
No editing, babe. No editing.
So it could be great for you guys to do an inventory of how you're doing emotionally, just almost like a self check-in. Because like I think it's so interesting. And I don't want to, when I say this, I want to be careful and tactful, but just speaking candidly, I get upset because I'm like, why do I still struggle with the same stuff? I'm like, when will I move on and struggle with different things, right? But it all seems to come back to the same stuff, and it almost makes me think of the disciples and their belief in Christ whenever Jesus multiplied the bread and fish. FYI, if you're new to the channel, we're Christians. We share a lot of our faith. Hi, welcome back to the channel. And literally, like in Matthew, this chapter, they were like, we don't have enough bread and fish, and he's like, I got it. Talking about Jesus is like, I got it. Yeah. And literally, like the next chapter in the Bible, the masses come again to be fed again, and the disciples were like, where? We don't have enough. Yeah. And Jesus is like,
seriously?
Like, I only wish I could be there, but I would have been one of the people in the boat saying we don't have enough.
Yeah.
And I think I just want to start breaking the cycle of the self-perpetuating, like where it's like, okay, I have this many hours to work. I'm going to plan for every single hour to be worked. And then I'm going to get so exhausted, I'm going to make myself sick. Now I'm going to sleep a whole day. And then I'm going to be behind work. So now I'm going to work hard for I'm going to fill up my schedule again. And it's just this cycle that goes back and forth. And I'm like, why do I keep struggling with the same stuff?
Yeah.
How do we create healthy routines that plan for longevity, not only for our physical conditioning, but our mental fortitude?
Oh, wow. Fancy word.
Wow, I don't even have to look that one up, but I will.
Anyways, I feel like when we started talking about filming this video, which was all of 15 minutes ago, all I could think about was how, like, the Lord says, or Jesus says, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, I will give you rest. And I don't feel like when I'm so overwhelmed or so exhausted, I truly go to him for him to give me rest enough. Like, I feel like I'll get in these cycles of like, well, babe, I'm just overwhelmed. Like last night we were having this conversation and I was just like, I just feel overwhelmed. To just let y'all into our world a little bit, we are getting so close to closing on our house, which is a huge blessing and a huge answer to prayer. If you followed our journey of like building our dream home, there has been so many like closed doors that the Lord opened and so many answered prayers, and we're getting so close to like living in that promise, living in the answered prayer, which is so crazy. It'll make me cry, but just getting to that point, there's so much to do on top of like keeping up with our workload, on top of like everything else we have going on top of like buying all the furniture and figuring out where it all is and why are things lost in shipping and why can't we get in touch with companies, and there's just like so many things, and then it's like we'll have a call for this that I'll forget about 5 minutes before the call starts, and there's just like a million things in my brain.
Have you all ever heard of Murphy's Law, which is like anything that can go wrong will go wrong?
Yeah.
And that's not respective to like our builder, but it's just things being delayed,
pushing things back, builder,
or not being able to get the right financial statements in order, or it just seems like so many things go wrong. And I think the big lesson here is not allowing a blessing to become a burden.
Yeah.
Because we do not want this house to become a burden. We want it to remain a blessing. And so how do we emotionally receive all the stuff around it? How do we receive all that stuff around it and not let it bog down our true experience of like, wow, this is like a home where we will, Lord willing, have children in, and like there's so much bigger things happening here around it than like the immediate little baby stresses.
Yeah.
So how do we keep like a long-term and even eternal perspective when we're going through stuff? That way it doesn't hinder our walk. And I guess it just makes me wonder, like, are you all, you have something to say?
I'm raising my hand.
Can I finish that thought real quick? Keep your hand up. Are you all like in the middle of a blessing that's now become a burden?
Yeah.
Anyone? Just me?
Me.
Me.
And it hasn't become a burden. It just has become a lot to figure out. Like in my head, there's so much going on, and we're excited to have some like free space. Like we know once we move into the house, like we're excited for every like waking thought that isn't work to not like be what decor is going to go in this nook and cranny of this house. What I was going to say is there is a way to avoid this cycle. And when you were saying that, like all I could think about was Sabbath. Like the Lord literally giving us a day that he gave us to experience a rest so that we could go about doing all the work that we needed to do. But to even do that, we need to have better like work-life boundaries. And we've said this multiple times, but we have not finished the boundary series and done a boundaries in work because we don't
for a reason
have them yet. We're still like in the process of figuring that out and like creating better systems so that we can only work from 9 to 5. Like, y'all, it's so funny. When I was getting my nails done the other day, and this girl was like, so social media, like all you do? And I was just like,
yes.
Yeah, well, just to be honest, like I feel like there's not enough like realness on social media about people who do social media in terms of like the actual workload that's like behind trying to build something. And sometimes it really is like a lot of work outside of the video that like you're watching right now. And so something that I've felt disobedient in, once again, I go through these cycles of not being obedient and taking a Sabbath. And I feel like the reason, it's not like God saying, I need to do this because I want you to be like a rule follower and like that kind of thing. He's like, no, I want you to take Sabbath because I know how good it's going to be for you. Like, I know that it's going to give you the fuel that you need to be better at work. Like, I know that that rest that you receive in Sabbath is going to make those hours that you're working, like you'll get so much more done in a shorter amount of time versus trying to go through all of it overly exhausted and overwhelmed. So it takes you 3 times as long to do anything because you're just like not sharp. And so for me, this is an unfiltered conversation and this is the rabbit trail of my thoughts, but I just feel like I personally need to be more obedient in taking a Sabbath and doing things that bring me joy and bring me life outside of like just all the things on our to-do list. Like there has to be kind of like at this point in time, I'm putting everything away and I'll pick it back up in the morning. And we just haven't really been that great about that because we have like so many deadlines and things that like just have to get done or we won't close on this house. And so it's crazy.
I think another thing that Sabbath does, it's funny how Sabbath speaks to you in that way. With what it speaks to me is like what's on the throne of my heart and what am I willing to trade for my mental clarity and my peace of mind. And it's just like I feel like, okay, if I'm willing to take there's 7 days in a week. If I'm willing to just X one of those off of there and just spend it relaxing and resting, then what I'm doing is telling my mind and my heart, hey, it's okay that you love these things, but you don't love them more than you love God, and you're not going to allow this cool thing to become an ultimate thing where we become an idol. And so it's funny how Sabbath speaks to me that way, because it kind of like it's like if you imagine like a little stool with like all the things I want on top of it, and it's just like Sabbath is like, oh wow, you guys got a lot of leg, Lord. And I feel like it's a humble reminder to say like, yes, you could spend a full extra 24-hour, how many hours working, but you're choosing to say no because you're not going to allow this thing you're pursuing to run your life. Because if you have something and you can't let it go, you don't own it, it owns you.
There is a verse I wanted to read, and it's the one that I shared just a second ago. But I just wanted to read the whole thing because this is Jesus speaking. And any time Jesus is speaking, like lean in, listen. It's really important. Jesus says in Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So I feel like for us, like I need to just meditate on that verse today, and maybe you do too, because I think that we don't often enough take his yoke upon us. Because it says that it's light. And we want to walk through with like that confidence of knowing that Jesus has us. Like I feel like our worry is a direct like knock on Jesus, because he says like, I have you covered. why are you so worried? I've called you to trust me. I've called you to lean on me. I've called you to give it to me.
Yeah.
And yet my worry says that I'm trying to take it and control it.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm trying to control it, it's not good. And I feel like sometimes all my plans just need to end so like his plans can begin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is super interesting how our decision to take the steering wheel, the heart of it, what it's actually saying is like, it's cool what you're doing, but I think I know better than you. And that can be pretty intimidating to say to the God of the universe.
Yeah.
But we say it every single day with how we talk to people, with how hard we work on different things. And we should be excellent and we should work as hard for the Lord and not for man. However, like, remember, we're working unto the Lord and not for man. And so if your objectives for work are very Martha-esque, then you know we're probably a little off.
Yeah.
Because we should never exchange what is good for what is better. Shout out Mary and Martha story. You know what he said?
You mean we shouldn't exchange what's better for what's good? Right?
I don't know how I said it, but basically, Jesus
don't
said,
be a Martha, be a Mary.
Yeah, well, he said, what you've chosen is good, but what Mary's chosen is better.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was trying to say, Dave Ramsey. Gosh, with no edits, it's hard to make fun of those things.
I know. No edits is hard, you guys. If you want more like unfiltered conversations, if you want like that to kind of be a series, let us know. But we definitely feel more comfortable with edits.
Yeah.
You know, that way we can like get our train of thought together and kind of figure out what we're trying to say in between like, you know, little cuts or whatever. But this is just honest, and truly, like, as you were talking again, like, I just thought of like takeaways from this. If you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, number one, run to Jesus. Ask him to give you rest. Give it over to him. Write it out on paper. Get it out of your head. Get it on paper. And literally, if you have to physically be like, Lord, I am giving this to you, and like get rid of the paper or something. I don't know, but like physically do that. And then take a Sabbath, like take a rest, go for a walk, get outside, take your shoes off, like get grounded. And there was one other thing. Oh, worship. Like, honestly, you guys, the act of worship, the act of gratitude and thankfulness is worship to the Lord. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling really burdened, when you like refocus your thoughts to all the ways that the Lord has come through and all the blessings that you're standing in right now, it'll lead you to like praise. Like if it doesn't, that is surprising, because when we think about all the things that the Lord has brought us through and what we're standing in now that you prayed for in the past, like it should leave you in awe and wonder of God and remind you that he is for you and remind you that he is in control and like he has you. You know, like you don't need to worry, you just need to trust. And it's easier said than done. Like I'm not sitting here like, oh, I totally know how to not worry and just trust the Lord. Like, no, we're doing this because we're talking about this because we've felt overwhelmed and we've been worrying about stupid stuff lately. And so this is just our conversation about like, okay, this is what we've been feeling convicted about, and this is what scripture tells us to do when we're feeling this way. So let's do it together. Yeah,
it feels good to do that, because again, the main goal of this entire channel is to be who we wish we had. And it's unfortunate some of the things we have to learn, not all the things, but some of the things we have to learn are through experience. And if you guys can gain anything through our experiences, that would be awesome. I did have something else to say, but I forgot it.
I'll put some.
You can't put any edits on it.
No, just right now.
Oh, yeah. I had a few things, but that's not helping at all.
He's like, you're stressing me out.
Oh, I remember whenever she said stress, that triggered the word. We mentioned it either on a podcast or another YouTube video about how gratitude and anxiousness or anxiety cannot coexist in your brain at the same time. And I just think it's so interesting that they can't. Right? And so if you are feeling anxious about your life, if you're acting out of desperation, if you're acting out of worry or fear or anxiety or stress, start counting your blessings. I know people say that, but think about counting sheep before you go to sleep, right? Like who actually does that? But it's a thing. Your mind just starts to focus on 1, 2, and the more we count our blessings, the more we're thankful, and we express gratitude for the things we have, that anxiety, worry, stress, fear is just going to leave. Yeah. And it's a great thing for us to practice. And you have to be weird about it. And what I mean by that is, like what Tori said, if you need to write something down and offer to the Lord, get weird. Don't be proud. Yeah. Like, don't be proud. We're not proud by making this video. It's saying, hey, yeah, we've kind of been doing not a great job at certain things in our life. So here's what we're doing to work on it. And for you all and us, we really encourage you to say, oh, I'm going to verbally count my blessings and challenge that worry, fear, anxiety, and stress that wants to drive me. Because, put on any TV or most of social media, and you're going to start feeling the well of, oh gosh, it's all these feelings, right?
It's a lot.
And we've got to protect our mental health, y'all.
Yeah.
And we've shared it so many times. We got to protect it.
Yeah.
Tori and I have some resources down in the description of this podcast. One of them is called BetterHelp. It's a Christian counseling online counseling service, and we do have a discount code for you. We have like a year-long thing with them, so anytime you guys want to sign up, you can. Yeah. Or honestly, finding someone in person would be great, because being able to sit in a room with somebody and talk, but we know that's not available for everyone, so feel free to check that out.
Yeah. The reason I've personally loved BetterHelp is because there's also an online chat. And so not only is it just 1 hour with a person, if you have any follow-up things, or they want to send you any resources or send you any books from the conversation that you have, my counselor on there, she sent me books to read and things to fill out, and almost journal prompts and different things. And so I felt that was really cool too. And they always get back to you in 24 hours. And so I've even told so many people in my DMs, because we're not counselors, we're not therapists, and we would love to pray over you and lift up your request to the Lord, but we're not counselors. And so some things I don't feel confident or comfortable giving advice to, because I'm not in your daily life. And so if you're in a situation like that, truly check out the resource. This is not just a plug. I've really enjoyed it, and this is my reminder that I need to schedule my next appointment. But anyways, and there's a PDF as well if you're really struggling with some mental health. Yeah. It's called Hope for the Heart, and they have a ton of verses. Whether or not you're struggling with mental health, just check it out. It's a free downloadable PDF. But they do have a really cool battle plan for when your thoughts start spiraling. So I think it's an amazing resource. Yeah. We're at 23 minutes. All right, you guys. All right, you guys. We can't wait to be back next week with our regular scheduled programming. Yeah. I think that's what we got for today. We love you guys. We love you, and we'll be talking to you next one. Do 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 do. Are we allowed to edit and put that song in? We can at least put the song in. Do 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 do.